So I was telling that what do we mean by proportional representation system? So let me tell you about proportional representation system through a diagram, or through a, you can say, an example, through an example. For example, suppose there is a state and it has 3 members in the legislative assembly. It means it has 300 MLAs, sorry, 300 MLAs. And suppose there are 3 seats allotted to that particular state in the Rajya Sabha. So how we can get the proportional representation? So suppose 300 MLAs, these 300 MLAs will be divided by 3 seats are there, 3 seats, 3 seats plus 1 plus 1. And by this formula, we can derive the proportional number of votes required for the election to the Rajya Sabha. So how much it will happen? So this will be 300 plus upon 4 plus 1, and that will be 76 votes for MLAs. So if 76 MLAs give vote to a particular member contestant, then that contestant will be declared elected on the seat of the Rajya Sabha from that state, and this is called proportional representation system. What do you mean by open ballot? Open ballot means the people who are voting, their vote can be seen. They can, everyone can see who is voting whom, who is giving the vote to whom, and this is called open ballot. Open ballot. So this is the thing. Now let's come to, so this was the manner of election, and this was the mode of election. So three members will be elected. So you can see here that 76 multiplied by 3. So no, 3 6 are 18 and 3 7 are 21 and 1 22. And if we subtract it from 300, then there will be 2, and there will be 72 seats will remain. And if it is less than 76, then no fourth person can be elected. And this is the reason that why we say that proportional representation system is there for the, and open ballot system for the election to the Lok Sabha, election to the Rajya Sabha. So open ballot, proportional representation with open ballot system. Now I hope you understood proportional representation. Proportional representation means every party having some MLAs in the legislative assembly of that state shall get equal number of seats in the Rajya Sabha from that state. You can say in the proportion to its number of MLAs. If it has some MLAs, if it has the required number of MLAs, then it will get seat from its particular state to the Rajya Sabha. And this is the major point about proportional representation system. Now let's come to the disqualification. So what we have talked about? First we have talked about the qualification required for the members of the Rajya Sabha. Second, we have talked about the manner or mode of election, to the Rajya Sabha. And then we have to talk about disqualification. But before talking about disqualification, let me talk about a very short topic, and that is the composition of Lok Sabha. We have a composition of Rajya Sabha. We have left this point. So first let's talk about what is the composition of Rajya Sabha. The composition of Rajya Sabha is that what are total strength of Rajya Sabha? What is the total strength of Rajya Sabha? Total strength or total seats or maximum seats. What is the maximum strength of Rajya Sabha? Yes, very good. So it is 250. The maximum strength is 250. Out of this 250, there are two types of members. Some are elected and some are nominated. So how many members are elected? Nominated by whom? Nominated by the president. From the areas like art, literature. Yes, very good. 238 and 12. So art, literature, science, and social service. Science and social service. So these are the areas, some of the areas from which these members can be elected, can be nominated if they have excelled in art or literature or science or social service or any other area. If they have excelled, so they will be nominated to the by the president to the Rajya Sabha. So there are 238 members elected and 12 nominated, and 12 members nominated from these areas and some other areas also. So 12 members will be nominated. Out of these 238, how much or how many members are elected from the states? There are states also, there are union territories also. So how many members are elected from the states? $229. How many? 229. 229 members will be elected from the states. And how many members from the union territories? Rest 9 will be from the union territories. So this is the thing, but there is a catch. There is a condition. The condition is that this number, that is the representation of the union territories in the Rajya Sabha, this number can be regulated by the parliament. So parliament has power to regulate this number. Parliament can regulate this number. That is, Parliament can regulate the representation of the union territories to the Rajya Sabha, and Parliament has regulated this. And this is the reason that at present we don't find the maximum strength of Rajya Sabha 250. It is 245 only. So let's talk about what is the situation. What is the current strength of Rajya Sabha? What is the current strength of Rajya Sabha? Though the maximum strength of Rajya Sabha is 250, but the current strength is just 245. Out of this 245, 229 are from states. So 229 are from states, and 4 are from the union territories. Why only 4? Because Parliament, though maximum 9 members can be from the union territories, 9 seats can be allotted to the union territories, but at present only 2 union territories. If we exclude Jammu and Kashmir, if we consider Jammu and Kashmir as a state, then we can talk about, say that, because the position of Jammu and Kashmir is not yet clear, so we will not talk about that. Just you have to remember that yes, Jammu and Kashmir has now been turned into a union territory, but it will have its legislature. Okay, but here we will talk about what is definite. The definite is that only Delhi, the union territory of Delhi, and the union territory of Puducherry, they have their legislative assembly, and having a legislative assembly, they have been given seats in the Rajya Sabha. Delhi has 3 seats in the Rajya Sabha, and Puducherry has only 1 seat in the Rajya Sabha, because Puducherry also has legislative assembly, though it is a union territory, but it has legislative assembly, and Delhi also has legislative assembly. So these are the reasons why only these 2 union territories have been represented in Rajya Sabha, because they have legislative assemblies. Other union territories like Dadar Nagar Haveli, Daman Diu, Chandigarh, and Andaman Nicobar and all these areas don't have their legislative assemblies, and this is the reason why they have not been represented in the Rajya Sabha. So this is the thing, but the major contention here is about the nominated members, nominated by the president. How many members are nominated by the president? As I have already told, it is 12. The 12 members will be nominated by the president to the Rajya Sabha, and these 12 members will come from the areas like art, literature, science, social service, science and social service. But there is a confusion. What is the confusion? The confusion is that Constitution says President has power, President shall nominate 12 members to the Rajya Sabha from the areas like art, literature, science and social service. But if we talk about the nomination to the Rajya Sabha, where do Sachin Tendulkar fits in this category? Sachin Tendulkar is neither an artist, neither he is a laureate, neither he is a scientist person, neither he is a social service. So where do Sachin Tendulkar fix in this scheme of things? Can anyone tell me how Sachin Tendulkar, despite not being any literary genius or science genius or social service or all these things, why Sachin Tendulkar has been how Sachin Tendulkar has been nominated to the Rajya Sabha? In which category Sachin Tendulkar had been nominated to the Rajya Sabha? Can anyone tell me? Because we know that Sachin Tendulkar was an actor as a cricketer. He is also called God of cricket in India. So he was a cricketer. But how he was nominated to the Rajya Sabha? Because if we talk about that he is not an artist, he is neither a laureate, neither he is a scientist, and neither he is a social service person. So how, despite being a cricketer, how he was nominated to the Rajya Sabha? In which category? So Sachin Tendulkar was nominated to the Rajya Sabha One minute. Give me a second. Okay, so he was nominated in the field of cricket itself. Don't get confused that Sachin Tendulkar was nominated under the category of social service or literature or art. No, he was nominated under the category of cricket itself. And this was the reason that the nomination of Sachin Tendulkar and even recently retired Chief Justice of India Ranjan Gogoi, he was also appointed. Ranjan Gogoi, he was also appointed to the Rajya Sabha. He was also nominated to the Rajya Sabha, and a lot of hue and cry was there. But what was the actual hue and cry was not his nomination. The actual hue and cry about the nomination of Ranjan Gogoi, retired Justice Ranjan Gogoi to the Rajya Sabha, was the timing. That he had retired soon, and without giving him a cooling off period, he was nominated to the Rajya Sabha, and that too by the party in power itself, and that too after and within 1 or 2 months, he even joined the BJP party also, the party in power also, the ruling party also. So the timing was the major contention, not his nomination and not his category or all these things. He was nominated to the Rajya Sabha under the category of jurisdiction, that is law, under the category of law. Though there is no concept of law category in these four: art, literature, science, and social service. So how Sachin Tendulkar was nominated to the Rajya Sabha under the field of cricket, and how Mr. Ranjan Gogoi was nominated to the Rajya Sabha under law category? Let's talk about. When Sachin Tendulkar was nominated to the Rajya Sabha, his nomination was contested. His nomination was challenged in the Supreme Court. Tendulkar. That how Sachin Tendulkar, despite being a cricketer, how he can be nominated to the Rajya Sabha? Because he is neither an artist, so he does not belong to art category. He is neither a literate, he neither belongs to literature. He is neither a scientist, and he is neither a social service person. So how Sachin Tendulkar can be, and there is no mention of play game or cricket. So how Sachin Tendulkar can be nominated? So Supreme Court, this matter went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court, when this matter was contested in the Supreme Court, a very you can say eminent juristic personality, eminent jurist of India, eminent jurist of India, and even he had been India's Attorney General also. So jurist of India, Soli Sorabji, Soli Sorabji, Soli Sorabji, who is a very eminent jurist of India, he said that the nomination of Sachin Tendulkar under the category of cricket to the Rajya Sabha is not disputed, is not problematic. Why it is not problematic? Because though Constitution does not talk about a category of game, but this this list of this list that of art, literature, and science and social service is not exhaustive. It is not list is not exhaustive. Exhaustive. It is just an illustration. It is illustrative. What do you mean by it? So let me tell you. So it is just an illustrative. That is, it has been given just for the sake of example. For the sake of example, it is not that only the people from only these areas can be appointed, can be nominated to the Rajya Sabha. Even the people from other areas also can be, other sectors of life can be nominated to the Rajya Sabha, because this list is not exhaustive, that nothing more can be added and nothing can be deleted from this list. This list is just illustrative, or this list is just for the sake of example. And then the Supreme Court decided the matter into the favor of Sachin Tendulkar. And after that, many people, though they are not from these categories, but they have been appointed, they have been nominated to the Rajya Sabha. Now you understood that how Sachin Tendulkar was nominated to the Rajya Sabha and how Ranjan Gogoi has also been nominated to Rajya Sabha. These are the things. We will talk about these things in the next class, tomorrow's morning at 5:30. So thank you. Have a good night.